Hey everyone, so this week we're going to do something a little bit different. We've been doing our YouTube channel for a couple of months now, and we've got lots of questions from you guys that apparently we need to start answering. So today is going to be our first little Q&A video, and hopefully we will get some of your questions answered for you. So the first thing that keeps getting brought up is you guys want to know a little bit more about who we are and how we ended up in Moro. So if you want to kind of go into that a little bit.
Sure. So we were up in northern Washington, and I got a new job down here. And so we moved the family from north central Washington to north central Oregon. And same line of work, but much healthier.
Work environment.
Yeah.
Better for the family.
Yeah. And it was kind of random how we found Sherman County, but we did, and it worked out.
Yep. And once we moved here, I felt like we just kind of felt like it felt like home. Like we finally found where we wanted to be after moving around quite a bit.
Yeah, it's our kind of area.
Yeah.
So who we are. So Amanda and I are married. We got 4 kids. I work full time with other stuff. And then like on my days off, I work on the hotel. And then Amanda does she has a couple other businesses, and then also the hotel, and the kids keep her occupied.
Very busy.
Yeah, so that's kind of us, I guess. Just a family in Sherman County. Why this project?
Do we also want to do why we picked this hotel at the same time?
Sure.
Because they're kind of tied together. So I kind of felt like this project, I felt kind of like God's hand in it the whole time. Like it all just kind of lined up. It felt like it was kind of meant to be. Like we were looking for a place where we could have a coffee shop. We were looking for long-term rentals. And then I had, like, when we had driven through here, like, visiting family and stuff, I had always seen this building and really liked it, even though it was in a bit rougher shape the first few times I saw it before its paint job. And then when it came up for sale, I kind of talked to your mom and I talked to you, and I wasn't sure how we would make it work, but we just kind of did. Everything kind of lined up.
Yeah, I remember we were, like she mentioned, we want to do the coffee shop and long-term rentals, or one or the other, really. And it's kind of hard to get into long-term rentals when you don't have property. So, you need like 100 to 300K to put into places. And but we were researching that. Mm-hmm. that for that passive income kind of thing. And then the coffee shop, there's just no coffee shops really in the county, and so we wanted to do something somewhere like along Highway 97 in the county, and there's just not a lot of space for something like that. And so this hotel building had already existing studio apartments and a 2-bedroom apartment, and so I had like the long-term rental part of it, and then it has a ton of other space for a coffee shop. Yeah. So it's kind of like a all-in-one thing. It met all of our needs in that regard. And I remember when you brought it up, and I remember being positive, I think,
which I was surprised about.
And I remember we just like started looking at the numbers and reached out to the sellers and got the numbers from them too, just to see what it would take if we could afford it. What were we getting into. And it was like, obviously the numbers worked out.
Yeah.
But we were, it just kept, as we did more and more research on it, it just seemed to make sense. And we obviously went for it.
Mm-hmm. So the next question is, what are your plans for the building? So we kind of touched on that a little bit with the coffee shop. Like that's our main goal at this point, I feel like.
Yeah, so we have the first floor, which is on the street level of Highway 97. That'll be a coffee shop, a very large area coffee shop with a lot of seating inside of it. There'll be a little retail space, part of it as well. And then there's an event room in the corner of the building on that first level that will have events there and group meetings and all sorts of...
Like a community gathering space.
Yeah, something that people can use and reserve and utilize as a space. Mm-hmm. And then there'll be, adjacent coffee shop they can utilize too. And then we have the second floor. We'd like to open it up as a functioning like hotel again. Mm-hmm. So short-term rental spaces. We're still planning all that out, but I don't know how many rooms are on the second floor currently.
I think there's 23 currently.
And they're not usable right now. They're like too small, and they have shared bathroom spaces, which isn't gonna fly
by today's standards.
So there's gonna have to be some renovating, and it's gonna be like maybe a 5-year plan for the second floor.
But we want to keep them like kind of with the time period, kind of maintain some of their original character and make it still kind of a neat space.
Yeah, it'd be cool to be as original as possible, but we have to make it comfortable and usable.
Yeah, like our king bed in one room pretty much goes wall to wall.
Yeah. Well, and people want private bathroom spaces.
Yeah.
And the third floor will also have a few hotel spaces and then a big suite. And the first floor, actually, going back a little bit, eventually we'd like to get into roasting with the coffee company, and we have space dedicated for that too.
Yeah.
And then we have a lot of space.
A lot of space.
And then we have, in the basement level, there's actually 4 spaces for
studio apartments.
And so there's 3 that are already finished and rented out. And then, so we have a 4th one that we need to get up and running.
Yeah.
And then in the backyard, we're going to do a beer tap patio space. Our plan is to have like bring a grain bin in, an old one. And
tap room. And
yeah, that'll be the tap room. And it'll just be like this outdoor patio area with the deck and...
Yeah, fun stuff.
Yeah, a place to hang out. It'll be its own little business back there, selling beer. And then we'd like to bring someone in for...
Like a food cart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Provide some food to go with the beer.
Yeah. So that's really the plan for the building so far. So it's this year, coffee shop, event room. And then the years down the road, we'll do the hotel room and hotel room spaces, beer tap patio, roasting.
Yeah. So like 5-year plan for kind of getting it all kind of together.
Yeah.
One thing that I forgot to put on our list that we get asked frequently is how many rooms and the square footage. So the hotel had, as close as we can tell, probably about 50 rooms. And then it's like 24,000 square feet. It's 6,000 per level. And then that includes, so that's 3 main floors and then a walkout basement. So that gives access to like that backyard patio space.
Mm-hmm. Yep, 4 floors total.
Yeah.
6,000 square foot per floor. And the building itself is in the shape of a capital L. And then the property itself is a square. And so about a quarter of the property is the backyard. So we got, what's the next question here?
Who owned the hotel before we bought it?
Yeah, there was a local couple that owned it, and it changed hands quite a bit.
Yeah, I think before.
I think they had it for like 6 years, I want to say.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's just passed through a lot of hands previously. And then, so it was an antique store for quite a while. So I think that's been its main use for quite a long time now. Different families running it as an antique store.
Yep. Did someone previously buy the hotel and turn the lobby into the antique shop and over the years just fill all the rooms with stuff?
And then also, did that cause the hotel, like the loss of the hotel income just in order to sell antiques? So we kind of started talking about that. I think like 45 plus years we kind of have figured it's been an antique store.
A long time.
A long time. And so I think that, yeah, just it's been collecting more and more over the years. And I would guess that there probably wasn't a huge hotel income loss, because it probably just didn't have enough business, would be my guess.
Yeah, there was a bunch
sustain it.
There's a bunch of hotel spaces around the county. This is over 100 years old, and so there was just different stuff going on, more people.
Yeah, and then like over time, as all those people kind of like left, like less population, less people traveling through, they probably didn't need as many hotels and that type of spaces.
Yeah, and we're not sure like what time frame that would be, but like if we looked at this space today, we like no one would build this building today.
Yeah.
With
in this
the
area.
intent, yeah, with the intent to make it a, upwards of 50 room hotel. There's just not a need for that. But so at some point it stopped functioning as a hotel and antique shop for a long time with multiple owners.
Yeah. Well, and I bet too that it was just hard to like keep up on maintenance, be able to heat it. We've run into that.
Yeah. Yeah, they had they had a boiler, a giant boiler.
To heat the building.
Originally. And I can only imagine the maintenance requirements for that, because you have the piping going through the entirety of the building.
Yeah.
And it's just like
if
this one big
leaks.
system. Yeah. And then, yeah, the electrical and the heating is just a nightmare. And so, yeah, I think it would...
So I would guess that like the antique shop was like their most viable option to use it for something at the time. Just trying to turn it into something and use it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the lose hotel income to sell antiques. I don't think it was one of those things where...
It probably just wasn't making any money at the time, so...
Well, it probably just stopped.
Yeah.
And then whoever owned it was going to do something with the space. And, I don't know about that transition. It happened too long ago. I don't know.
Somebody bought it and started using it again, but just for something different.
Well, and at some point, if it's full of antiques, you're just going to run it as an antique store.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to put all the work into cleaning it out.
Who does that sound like?
Because it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Especially, yeah. So, what is the large 2-bedroom space Did the owners live there? Did someone rent there? So this is probably the 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah, it's your parents are currently living
Yep.
there.
Yeah, so when we got the hotel, there was 2 studio apartments. There was a third being renovated, and then there was a 2-bedroom apartment that was rented out. And so we brought my parents in, and now that's where they live full-time permanently. And we actually made it into a 3-bedroom. So we added a little bit. We added a couple walls, made it a 3-bedroom, and then the other studio apartment, we finished that renovation and got it rented out.
Yeah. So we are using that 2-bedroom space, now 3-bedroom, as like kind of his parents' apartment, and then also like we use that for some of our living space too, kind of.
Yeah, because we've moved in to the hotel on the 2nd floor temporarily, and we have to piggyback on my parents' place, like for the amenities and utilities.
Yeah.
Because we don't have power or
water
or
on the 2nd floor.
Yeah, we don't have anything.
We don't have anything
Except beds.
Yeah.
So it's like camping.
So what are our plans for the contents of the building? So we've actually taken care of most of that, at least on the 1st floor. We had a big estate sale, a couple of those, so a couple big sales. We've given stuff away. We boxed up a lot of stuff and donated it. Had to go through and pull out a lot of garbage. So at least the 1st floor is pretty much done. There's not really any more stuff to go through on the 1st floor. We will need to do that again up on the 2nd floor, but it's already like way picked over, a lot less than what we started with up there. So
yeah, we tried to sell stuff initially, and we did. We sold a lot
of stuff,
but it was like, really, really cheap. We just wanted to move it, but also make some money to help with reinvesting in the property and fixing it up. And so we got a dumpster and filled it, and so that was like a 40-yard dumpster we filled with stuff. And we also did the estate sale. We also posted online in a bunch of neighboring communities, like in Portland and whatnot, and
like free.
Yeah, we advertise as free. Just come to the hotel, and almost everything's free, other than like big tables and stuff like that. And we had a lot of folks show up for that and just
loading up their vehicles and hauling away lots
nice.
of stuff. So, got a lot of stuff cleared out pretty fast that way.
Yeah. The majority of stuff is gone.
Yeah.
We're over that mark.
Yeah.
And it's taken a little over a year, but
it's a process.
Yeah, I think if we had to do it over again, knowing now what it will take, we could do it a lot faster.
Yeah.
And then there's like some pauses in there with winter and,
just
other
family stuff.
Yeah. One, we were renovating, so we finished that, we prioritized like renovating the studio apartment, and then we had a tenant move out, and so we had a chance to renovate, update it.
Yeah.
So that's,
takes time.
Takes our time and money there, and then
getting our spaces set up upstairs for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Will you be able to offer places for retreats and events in the future? So we're kind of thinking we might be able to do something like that with like the combination of hotel rooms and our like community event room, and on the 2nd floor we're talking about putting in like a community kitchen type space that guests would be free to use, so that since we are so rural, people could cook their own food potentially when they're staying, since sometimes there's not things open for places to eat nearby.
Yeah. I mean, like in the next 5 years, it'd be sweet if our place was like a destination place where people can come and stay. They stay the night there. They bed down there, and then they have a space for their event, whatever they're doing. If they're celebrating something, there's a beer tap patio area they could utilize to party it up. Then we're kind of limited right now in the county, but eventually there should be more restaurants open.
Restaurants potentially open,
including in Moro.
Yeah.
Like that'd be great to have more restaurants, and then in Grass Valley and Wasco.
Yeah.
And so that'll be a nice little package, right?
Yeah.
Like if you could come here and eat here and sleep here and have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be ideal. And then we have that community event space planned, and we've been currently renovating the space right now, and then we're designing tables, like old farm tables that we're gonna have to build ourselves because it's a fraction of the cost, but it'll be a nice little space. And
options for setting it up how you need to for an event, or flexible
Yeah.
space.
Yeah, and it could be a thing that people can rent for a weekend and come in early and set it up for a dance or a wedding or just some random event.
Quilt group.
Yeah. Or just like an hour or two long thing. Or a Boy Scout meeting or whatever.
Yeah.
Is the hotel haunted?
So we have had no experiences with this, but previous owners and people have told us that it is.
Yeah.
But our kids haven't said anything, and we haven't seen anything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. We were told that it is haunted, but that it's haunted by good ghosts or good spirits. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye out, but I haven't had any experience with any kind of
anything.
premonition. Can you put in a movie theater?
I don't really think we have the space for that. I don't think there'd really be any place where we could make that happen, but hopefully the movie theater across the street from us eventually will be able to do something.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to see that open up.
Yeah, there's a movie theater right across the street in Moro, a space for it, old one, that the owner's still working on. So that'd be ideal.
Yeah.
And we technically have space, but it'd have to be a space instead of like
something else. Yeah.
hotel rooms. It
wouldn't be ideal.
Yeah, it would just be like a living room set up right as a theater.
Yeah.
With a few chairs and couches and stuff. It wouldn't be probably worth it. Will the community room exterior door also be changed out?
Yeah, we're planning on updating the event room door that leads to the outside. And we also want to do the main door, so we'll probably do those around the same time, I would guess, with hopefully something that looks somewhat original to the building and kind of fits with what's still there that's original, because that one door to the retail space is original.
Yeah, so we have the front door of the lobby and a front door to the event room are both glass.
And they were put in probably 60s, 70s.
Yeah, and they're not pretty.
And they're also not doing much. Like,
Yeah, they're not efficient.
Yeah, they're definitely not efficient.
You can feel the breeze coming in. So we definitely need to replace them with
something
original.
better.
At least make it look original.
Yeah.
But so we're working on that. They'll both go though.
When will the downstairs be done? The main floor.
Well, our goal is this year for the coffee shop.
Yeah.
And so
And
this month
the main part
Yeah.
of the main floor, I would say.
Yeah. So last month, January, we finished cleaning it all out, the first floor of antiques. And then just this last weekend, we worked on the ceiling, the lath and plaster removal from the ceiling, because it needed to go. It was
falling down.
It wasn't exactly. And we've been ripping up the flooring, the carpet, and revealing the
hardwood underneath.
Yeah, the wood floor.
Yeah.
And so we're opening up the space. We took some walls out that you made a video on.
Oh, yeah, because they were not original.
Yep.
And they just divided it up in a way that we didn't really need it to be.
Yeah, so we're basically getting it to a point where we can start finish work.
Yeah.
And like sanding the floors, making it look nice, fixing the walls, painting stuff, and then we have to bring in electric.
Yeah.
And so we'll bring more electric into the building, and then we'll have conduit run. So we're still designing our spaces though to figure out where the power needs to be. Yeah.
Especially with a coffee shop and lots of appliances, we'll need lots of outlets and.
Yeah, we're gonna reach out to the experts to figure out like where everything needs to be, where it makes sense to have the counter, like with flow and workplace efficiency, and then the requirements for draining and stuff like that. Yeah. And then once we have that figured out, we can work on lighting solutions and then run the power for that too. So, so it's all coming together. I mean, it's going fast.
Yeah.
And then, we're getting close to having to hire people for all these projects, like the electric and stuff. Some of that we can't do ourselves. And then the flooring, we've been talking to flooring experts. And
because we did sand some of our own floors, and it took a long time.
Yeah, that was dumb. And yeah.
So like this year, it's kind of the main floor goal.
Yeah, I think it's realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had to think about that. It's like, are we being too ambitious?
But I mean, it seems like we've got a lot done just in the past couple
in just
weekends,
a few weeks. We've cleared out the whole first floor, and we've done a lot.
Done a lot of our demo work.
Yeah, it doesn't take that much, really.
Yeah.
So the answer to that question is this year. How do you have family meals?
So kind of like we talked about a little bit before, we have our bedrooms up on the second floor, but we eat, shower, pretty much all like our day-to-day living is done in the apartment on that main floor. With your family.
My parents' apartment.
Yeah.
We're just like living with my parents basically, and then we sleep upstairs in the hotel room spaces.
Yeah.
And those spaces are fixed up.
Yeah.
So like the bedrooms are personalized and it's nice.
But there's no running water.
Yeah, and then we have battery powered lights installed. They work actually pretty good, I think.
Yeah.
And the kids like it because they're all remote controlled and they're all LED lighting, and so you can like change the colors and they have fun with that stuff.
Yeah. Well, and they're having fun because they each get their own room, and instead of all sharing a room, which they were doing previously, so it's like an adventure.
Yes. So at some point, this is just temporary, so we can survive through it. But eventually, we're going to renovate the third floor space, and then we'll have to like transition up to live up there, so we can work on the hotel room spaces.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna be mobile for a while, but it'll be worth it. And then we'll look back in 10 years when we're settled in somewhere, and we'll know it. We'll know it.
It was all worth it.
That it was worth it, and that it was a good adventure. Sometimes you gotta sacrifice.
When will you get heat on the second floor?
So we're tapped out on the electric right now. And so we're going to get, hopefully soon, more power brought in, and then that will give us the option of running electric to mini splits. But really, I mean, we're going to have to get all the hotel rooms renovated and that whole thing fleshed out, because then we'll run mini splits where they need to be for all those spaces. Yeah. So really, probably won't have heat on the second floor until it's done. So like in the next 5 years.
Somebody asked, what is the temperature of the big spaces you are working in? So that's like, I'm guessing like the lobby and the coffee shop, or the lobby and the event room that we've been working on. I saw some days it was down to like 37, and some days it's up to like 49. So it's pretty chilly in there. Even when we've got our propane insert running, it gets pretty cold because there's just not very much heat.
It's a big space.
Yeah.
So like one of the first things we did was we got the biggest fireplace propane insert installed in the fireplace.
Yeah.
And it's a nice one, but it's not good enough for that space.
Because it's just so big. Like the space is so big.
Yeah.
And the ceilings are so tall.
So you can like hang out in front of it and be kind of okay, but
you're not going to be warm.
Like,
not going to be
if you're just hanging out, you might as well just go into the apartment.
Yeah.
So we'll have to have some mini splits added eventually to that space. And I mean, it's still, we don't regret having that. Like, you have to have a nice little fireplace for the atmosphere of the coffee shop.
Yeah.
And it's nice, remote controlled one. So like the baristas can
just push a button.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be important.
Are the sinks in the rooms functional? Well, kind of like we said, like there's no water upstairs, so
yeah, there's no water running to the hotel room spaces
anymore.
Yeah.
It would have been originally, but all of that's been capped, so there's no bathrooms.
So the pipes are there, but they're, you wouldn't want to trust them at this point. And then, so each room has a sink space inside of it, and then a toilet room. And so like the plumbing's there's just no water running to them. And so like the draining components of the system are still there. And so a lot of that might be usable, but we gotta hire professionals and double check, because you don't want to mess that up.
Yeah.
And then with our current plans for renovating the hotel room spaces, we might have to move some of that stuff around anyways. So
yeah,
I don't know how much it will be reusable, but we'll see.
But right now it's fun to have the sinks in there since they are original, and we just use them for putting plants in and just kind of
we haven't really gotten into
a decor purpose. It's not really a functioning thing.
Yeah, and when we have our hotel rooms planned out in the future, the design of it will be Amanda's deal, but I wouldn't be surprised if we're trying to go for the original as possible. I don't know if we're gonna have sinks in there or not still, but or maybe we can just utilize some of the other stuff somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see.
Because like we've seen other places, other hotels that went under renovation, where they'll take like, what's it, like the old windows and turn them into the mirrors. Mm-hmm. Kind of different purpose, like repurposed stuff.
Yeah.
So you have the memory there.
Yeah.
Are there newly renovated bathrooms on the second floor?
No. Still, no, no water, no running water. So Nothing on the second floor, all on the first
Yeah.
floor.
I mean, technically, there's one space where there's like some water running there, but
guess.
it's
But we
not
haven't-
set up.
Yeah, we haven't hooked anything up to it to see what would happen. But
Yeah, there's no functioning bathroom on the second floor. So if we're sleeping on the second floor and we need to utilize the bathroom, we gotta
make the long journey.
make the journey.
Yeah. But we have 3 bathrooms on the main floor that we can use at this point.
Yeah.
So,
And that was the last question, I think.
all right.
All right. Well, I guess until next time.
Yeah. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video and that we answered lots of your questions. If you have any other questions for us, just let us know. See you next week.